Welcome back, FE12 Lunatic-Reverse 0% Growth, Chapter 5. I consider this the most difficult early game chapter by a mile and a half. The first problem is the Rickard recruitment. You have to talk to him with Julian, so that's a wasted unit slot. But on hard 3 and 4, Rickard begins the map too far away to recruit on turn 1, which makes your life exponentially worse. Another problem is the boss area. It's 2 ballistae guarded by 3 armor knights, 3 cavaliers, and a sniper. So I'm selling basically everything I have to my name to buy 4 stat boosters for Palla. The last 2 Angelic Robes, the second energy drop, and the first Speedwing. Sita joined us at the end of Chapter 4, and I need to feed her and Katria some experience here, so we're full up on flyers, leaving Aaron as a paladin, but that's good anyway because I need a high movement Devil Sword user anyway. The first phase of this map is basically a wave of 3 mages, then a wave of 3 cavaliers, then 4 Draco Knights. So we're positioning with javelins to fight the mages, and Ogma recruits a new fighter, who might be useful if he were closer to level 10, but he'll at least see some use in this chapter. The biggest reason this map is so challenging is that there's a heavily guarded bishop in the northeast with a droppable physics staff, and he will use that staff immediately on any enemy phase the moment an enemy unit is at or below half HP. And I cannot let him waste those uses. So we have to apply significantly more work to make sure the enemy units stay healthy. And this is a great example. Aaron is fighting this mage rather than, say, Sirius, because he leaves the mage at just above half HP. Palla, meanwhile, easily kills the other 2 mages with her javelin. Okay, now let's talk about these thieves running away, trying to escape the map in the northwest. One of whom is Rickard, and he has to be talked to by Julian. You can catch glimpses of this huge pack of snipers in the northeast. Below hard 3, the snipers will leave you alone unless you attack them, but on hard 3 and 4, the entire pack will swarm you if you even set foot in their range. Combine that with Rickard starting too far away to recruit on turn 1, it makes this all a significantly more difficult problem. Turn 2, though, is fairly low stress. We're going to heal up and Palla takes out a thief, since she's not afraid of the incoming cavaliers. Ogma takes out the mage for us, and we set up the wall of frontliners. Sirius is going to have to go block Rickard from escaping the map, so that's why he's not contributing to this fight. He's got to go off into the sunset. Marth has more defense than Barst, but pulls the first cavalier anyway due to weapon triangle, and he hits back hard with the rapier. Barst has a shaky 60-something hit against this Silver Sword cavalier, but he has to be here to draw in the 3rd cavalier, who also has a Silver Sword. If someone like Ogma were here instead, this last cavalier would actually position more eastward inside the sniper's coverage, which would be rip run. Now the coverage of the Draco Knights you can see here is why Sirius stopped 1 tile short last turn. Sita is going to show off her Wing Spear, which has effective damage against cavaliers and knights with a clean kill, although this guy has a 30% chance to roll an extra point of speed, in which case Sita wouldn't double. There's some exciting hand-axe combat here, because of the reversal mechanic. That's the best we can do. Shoutouts to Barst for bringing that to the fight, because I did have to sell mine in preparations. And we need to get Palla to full HP, because she has to fight all 4 enemy Draco Knights. They each have a 25% chance of rolling 12 strength, and I had to reset until they all rolled 11, which is about a 1 in 3 chance. Sirius can match Palla's defense with a Taurus Shard, and then, by equipping an axe, Palla becomes the most appealing target for all 4 Draco Knights because of weapon triangle. Fortunately, the Draco Knights only have 5 crit at most, so for once, the 2% crit rule doesn't come into play on Sirius. I cannot let the northernmost Draco Knight go to Sirius like I did on hard 3, because the reversal mechanic plus the enemy physics staff means it's absolutely impossible for Sirius to fight one of these guys on his own. I experimented with sending Aaron as a Draco Knight up there to help Sirius, but I couldn't make the rest of the map work when I did that. So this is how it has to be. Now I go ahead and burn this save tile, because Palla needs to land 8 attacks in a row with about 80 hit, and that's a little worse than a 50% chance, I think. It's worth noting that anywhere Sirius might have been able to reach outside the Draco Knight's range is covered by the snipers. So you're fighting somebody either way, and the snipers mean absolute death. Palla survives with just 1 HP, so this is why she needed all those stat boosters. And I know what you're thinking, but a Draco Shield would have put her defense above Sirius's defense, and then he would have gotten attacked by one of the Draco Knights, so that's no good. In fact, I have specifically avoided using Draco Shields this whole time because of this kind of aggro management. Now Sirius can hold this choke point and take out the Master Seal Thief, and he convoy warps the Taurus Shard. Now that Rickard can't proceed to his escape point in the northwest, he's going to turn around and head back to our army. Palla comes home for some healing, and now the first half of the map is done. The second half is a waking nightmare. There are 3 armor knights guarding the 2 ballistae, but they only pull if you're in range of 2 of them. But if you're in range of 2 armor knights, you are necessarily in range of both ballistae, and any attack made against the ballistae will activate the sniper and his cavalier buddies, so you can't just send flyers to the ballistae. This is absurdly hard for Chapter 5. Definitely one of the most ridiculous defensive setups in the whole game. And initially I wanted to go for the pull here on turn 5, but I need Sirius's help, and he has to stay on that choke point for another turn, or Rickard would just turn right around again. So we'll take this turn to heal up and get in position. And now we finally recruit Rickard, so Sirius can head south to help us. If you guessed that I would use the 2% crit rule to solve the situation, you might be starting to catch on. Palla moves in range of 2 armor knights as was required, which means she's going to eat the boss ballista's massive effective damage. But the second ballista is a stone hoist, which does not deal effective damage to flyers. And since he isn't strong enough to kill Palla, he'll look to deal the most damage instead, which would be Ogma, except that the Avatar's 3 luck applies the 2% crit rule against the ballista's 5 crit. So now this Silverlance Knight prefers the very healthy Ogma over Palla, but dies to his Armor Slayer. Awesome. And finally, the Javelin Knight can't reach Ogma, right? Palla was the only unit in range of 2 knights, and because we drew away both the Stone Hoist and the Silverlance Knight, Palla is healthy enough to survive. That turn goes on the fucking highlight reel, let me tell you. It's finally time to take out these ballistae, and Sirius gets us started. We'll heal up Palla, and notice that I equipped her Javelin real quick, and then attack with the Silverlance. This moves the Javelin up in her inventory, allowing her to equip it after convoy warping the Silverlance. We just got the Gemini Shard, which gives +1 to Strength and Magic, which is pretty good. Now, my secondary goals for this chapter are to get Katria to level 10, and get as much experience as I can on Sita, so they need to get some action on these knights. Sita can only survive the damage of the Javelin Knight though, and obviously this crit isn't necessary, she was going to double. After a mend, Ogma can take out the last knight with his Armor Slayer. He misses, but he doubles, so it's fine. Sirius could have killed the Stone Hoist with his Silverlance alone, but Aaron really doesn't help against these knights since he can't double them. Ogma and Sita are both much better, so I had Sirius save the valuable and dwindling Silverlance uses, and Aaron comes in for the kill with the Devil Sword. Marth needs to move his max distance every turn from this spot, so that's why we didn't see any rapier action there against those knights. Palla needs to land 4 Javelin tosses with about 75 hit each, which is not good. It's a little better than 50% chance. I remember in Don-Don's run, he gave Palla all 3 Armory secret books right away, and I absolutely wish I had the money for that. I really wanted to give this sniper kill to Sita, but she's too far away, and I can't spend time kiting back when I need Marth moving max distance every turn. Instead, we set up the Cavalier for her, it was better than nothing, with our new Gemini Shard. And that includes giving the last bit of chip experience that Katria needed to hit level 10, which is very nice. Javelins are popping off this run, dude. Alright, well we still got some work to do, and I'll fast forward through a lot of this. The village in the northwest is unreachable by Marth along the eastern path because he can't pass through the sniper coverage. Even if you tried to rescue him across the coverage, the unit doing the rescuing would have to be in the coverage, so there's literally just no way. That village has the Hammer and Staff, which repairs any unforged item in the game, so that is absolutely essential to any LTC because you can repair the Rescue Staff, and on lower difficulties, the Warp Staff. So yeah, Marth has a long walk ahead of him. A thief shows up to put time pressure on visiting that village, but we'll be fine. And that actually helps me, because thieves are worth a lot of experience and Sita needs it. It's worth pointing out that I could have made a few changes in the prologues to get Sita a little more experience and the Avatar a little bit less, because the Avatar is ahead of where they need to be, and Sita's a little bit behind. But I made it work. Another objective I need to accomplish here is visiting the secret shop with Rickard's VIP card. to buy a Master Seal for 2,500 gold. You'll recall that I sold basically everything I had in preparations, so I really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to make this happen, which was challenging because I wanted to avoid selling Silver Lances, and the Armor Slayer. I didn't want to sell Barst weapons. That's my only Steel Axe, my only Hand Axe now. I didn't want to sell Healing Staves. I did end up selling the Killer Bow because it's worth a lot, and I can't think of anywhere that I'm going to need it. And then I'm also just doing as much healing as I can to build up staff rank and get these ladies closer to level 10. Marth finally gets the Hammer and Staff, and if I were willing to spend a rescue use on him, we would get a 13 turn clear, which is the same as I got on Hard 3, so that's fantastic. But like, it's Lunatic-Reverse 0% growths. I'm going to need my rescues later. And honestly, it was incredibly brazen of me to spend 2 rescues on Chapter 5 of a never-before-completed run. I don't want to say it was stupid, since it worked out, but it definitely brazen. But it also doesn't matter, because you're not here for the number of turns shown during the credits. You're here for the strategy, and the strategy is here for a 13 turn clear. So if I end the run with a rescue use left over, we can pretend this was 13 turns. And now for the final side objective, what is that, like the 15th thing I had to do on this map? Aaron pulls the snipers south, and Palla has to be far away so they don't think of moving toward her. Thankfully, the bishop is not linked to the snipers, so he'll just stay put while they chase. Because you can't reach the bishop from outside the sniper's coverage. We had to get him out of the way. Palla is going to use this save tile, which was previously covered by the snipers, just to make sure she doesn't miss against the bishop next turn. And I should point out that you can actually recruit Rickard in the next chapter if he escapes here, but that would prevent me from playing the next chapter as fast as I need to, so it had to happen here. Get some axe experience and a full use physics staff. Let's fucking go. We did it. We did it. We solved all the different parts of this nightmare chapter. It was a major workout. I'm serious. This map is extremely hard. Marth seizes on turn 16, and we are out of here. Thank you. Or actually, we're inside of that castle now. But thanks for watching.